I'm working. You guys ready to see some cool animals?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let me welcome everybody out here. My name is Brett, and I am from Gatorland. And y'all been to Gatorland before?
Right? Yay!
How many of y'all have never been to Gatorland? Shame on all you guys. The amount of times you've been to Orlando, you've never been to Gatorland, right? Well, Gatorland is the oldest attraction in Central Florida, guys. It started in 1949. We're known as a half-day attraction. It takes about 5 or 6 hours to see the entire park, unless, of course, you take that extra hour to ride our zip line. We've got one of the top 10 voted zip lines in the entire world. You actually fly over alligators and crocodiles. Now, how cool is that, right? We got a swim buggy ride. We got 3 great shows. We're a wildlife refuge. We're Central Florida's largest wading bird rookery, and we've got over 3,000 animals there, guys. And we're not just gators. We are a ton of other different species. Well, I brought a bunch to show you. Some of these animals may be a little scary to a couple of y'all, but you'll be fine. And I may need a couple young volunteers to help. Keep your hands down. Because in order to be my volunteer, you have to be brave, because I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to put in your hand. Yeah, you don't get to choose. So who wants to be my first volunteer? That girl right here, her hand went up first. Come on up here. Give it up for her, guys.
Yay!
John. Okay, John. Sorry about that, John. All right, John. Stand right there and face everybody. All right, John. Are you brave? All right, buddy. I want you to hold your hands flat. Just... Okay. Don't drop it, okay, John? Hold on. That's just the stuff that she lives on. There we go. And there we go. Don't drop her, okay? Give John a great big round. Just don't drop her, okay? She's very fragile. All right, John. What are you holding? Yes, you're absolutely right. Don't drop her as I'm talking about her, okay? Because you're going to be staying there about a half hour. Anyway. The tarantulas are spiders, but not all spiders are tarantulas. How do we know that that's a tarantula, not just an ordinary spider? It has nothing to do with size. Hint, hint. It's got hair. It's the only difference, guys. If you see a spider, but it has a lot of hair, it's actually a tarantula. You know what it is?
Oh.
Is this your first time holding a tarantula? Yes. I'll go ahead and take him back, buddy. Give me a high five. That is a tarantula. This is actually a native species found right here in the United States. This is called an Arizona blonde tarantula. Can you guess where they're from?
Arizona.
How'd you guys know that? You guys are smarter than I thought. That's right, from Arizona. Native to the United States. This thing has 1/4-inch long fangs and venom, John. But as you can see, guys, it's not making any attempt to bite. And how come it's not biting me? Simple, it doesn't want to. Guys, you gotta understand that as a general rule, animals are not aggressive. Now, I know how easy it is to label an animal aggressive, right? Oh my gosh, it's being aggressive. But what does aggression mean anyway? Think about that for a second. What is aggression? Well, when you think about it, if I just walked up to one of y'all and went slap right in your face, that's being aggressive, isn't it? That's aggressive. That's one-sided, guys. In other words, you're going to hold up your hand because you don't want to be slapped, right? And that's called defensive. And that's how animals are, guys. Animals pretty much need a reason to bite or attack. There's 4 reasons why an animal bites or attacks. You are going to totally relate to all 4 of these reasons. 1, they're protecting themselves. Any animal's going to do that, right? They're protecting their young, right? They're protecting their territory and food. Some of these reasons at that particular time you may not recognize, but they're protecting themselves, their young, food, and food and territory, guys. In other words, if I was to fiddle around with this tarantula, would she bite? Of course she would. That's because she'd be afraid enough to bite. Unfortunately for myself and my friend John down here, the venom of this tarantula is so incredibly mild, it pretty much doesn't really affect us. At the most, we'd feel the fangs pierce our skin. Their venom is very, very mild. In fact, there is not a single species of tarantula in the world that can kill a person. Not one. Even the largest tarantula in the world. It's actually called the Goliath bird eater. Can you imagine what an animal looks like? Yeah. Absolutely gigantic, about 12 inches across, guys. Now mine at home, she's not that big yet. She's only about 8 inches across. That's right. I have a collection of 22 tarantulas at my house. Come on over.
Wow.
And they're just running around. You know, I'm just kidding. No, they're not running around. But I do have a collection of tarantulas. But none of them can kill people. Not one. Now, why are tarantulas hairy? Okay, there's a difference between spiders and tarantulas. Tarantulas are hairy, but why are they hairy? I mean, mammals are hairy because mammals are warm-blooded, and hair is an insulator so they don't lose body heat. Well, tarantulas are cold-blooded. What do they use their hair for? Defense. Believe it or not, they defend themselves with their hair. Now, how do you defend yourself with your hair. Well, their hair is very different than our hair, especially the hair on this part of the body. You guys see this part of the body right here? People call that the butt. That's not the butt. The butt's somewhere else. That is actually called the abdomen. The hair on the abdomen is actually barbed all the way down the shaft of the hair. And when they feel threatened, they actually rub their hair off of their body and literally throw it at you. Wow. And that's a true story. They're called urticating hairs. And if you get that hair in your skin or your eyes, it gets crazy irritated. And while the animal's dealing with that, they can get away safe. Tarantulas are ground dwellers. They can climb, but they don't because they're very fragile. Ordinary spiders you'll see in high places all the time. If they fall, they're pretty tough. Tarantulas aren't tough. If I were to drop her from this height, it would kill her. They're that kind. Yeah. But they do have spinnerets on the back of the abdomen. You guys all know what spinnerets do, right? They make web. Now, tarantula web and spider web are different. Spider web is very, very sticky because you know why. That's how they capture prey. Well, tarantula webbing isn't all that sticky. They don't use it to capture prey. They use it to detect prey. See, tarantulas are ambush predators, but they can't see very well. So what they do is they put a network of webbing all over the forest floor, and when something crawls across, they know exactly where to go. They jump out, grab it, inject venom into it, and consume it. How many of y'all are scared of spiders? I'm just being curious. And I'm not going to throw a spider at you if you raise your hand. No. No, it's a very common fear. Of course, we all know it's called arachnophobia, right? And arachnophobia is probably one of the most common fears. As a matter of fact, I was the #1 arachnophobe in the entire world. Before I got into this business, spiders were my #1 fear. I couldn't even look at a photograph of one. How did I get over it? I just learned about them. It's simple as that. If you're scared of something, guys, learn about it. Suddenly it may not be as scary as it once was. Here's a fact I know you guys don't want to hear. This is a fact I got from an entomologist up at the University of Florida. He said that per every acre of land in the United States, per every acre, there's about 50,000 spiders. You're welcome. Keep in mind also, each one of those spiders eat about 200 insects a year. That's 10 million insects per acre per year that they get rid of. Yeah. Is that a lot? Well, let me put it to you this way. I just read in National Geographic about a month ago that said that if we had the capability of killing all the spiders of the world like that, within 18 hours or so, we'd gain about 50% more bugs. Wow. So, yeah, they absolutely are. Absolutely needed, guys. But, most people don't see spiders, so out of sight, out of mind. Just remember that, right? They're there, but you don't have to know that they're there, right? I got another arachnid I want to show you, and then we'll bring out some reptiles. But I wanted to show you an arachnid that's even more scary than a spider. And matter of fact, the entire world are scared of these arachnids.
Oh, scorpion!
See, your reaction tells me that you guys are scared of scorpions too. Yeah, guys, that is a scorpion, and yes, you can see she has a stinger. I did not remove anything. Okay, matter of fact, if you were to clip off the stinger, it doesn't. They can't survive without the stinger. They die shortly thereafter. But this is actually a scorpion. This is actually a really cool species. They're the second largest species in the world. It's called the Asian forest scorpion. They're the second largest, and they get gigantic. Well, the females get big. Males not so much. I don't know if you guys know, but in the arachnid world, it didn't work really well for male arachnids. Males are really small. They don't live long. Sometimes the female
eats them.
So it didn't work out too well for the male. This is a female. How do I know? Well, she had babies last year. Definitely female. She looks big, and she is. She's a little over 5 inches long when stretched out. The world record for this species is 10 inches long. So huge, yeah, exactly. Males only make it to 2 inches. That's all. I told you, a big difference. Males will live about 3 or 4 years. Females, believe it or not, and of course it all depends on the species, they can live up to 30 years. Isn't that crazy? In fact, some female arachnids live longer than that. The oldest tarantula just recently died in a zoo in Australia. She was 47 years old.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? Now, here's the cool part about scorpions. There's almost 2,000 different species living on every single continent except for Antarctica. That's cool, right?
Yes.
But here's the neatest part. Out of 2,000 different species, only 15 are deadly to people. That's all. 15 out of 2,000. Everybody thinks when you get stung by a scorpion, you're a goner. No. We learned that from Hollywood movies, didn't we? Exactly. Scorpions kill people all the time. We also learned that scorpions are only found in the desert. Nope. Most species need a moist environment, including her. She's an Asian forest scorpion, not an Asian desert scorpion, okay? The Indian desert scorpion gets almost 15 inches. So absolutely gigantic. But anyway, Yeah, only 2,000. Oh, by the way, can you guys guess what country? Now, country, mind you, don't throw an environment or a continent at me. What country has more species of scorpion than any other country, and they got most of the deadly ones? Not Australia, believe it or not. Arizona is a state. Looking for a country. No, it's not. We have about 30 in the United States. This country has 281.
Wow.
It's not India, it's closer than that.
Thailand?
Closer than Brazil. Closer than, what did you say? Mexico. Mexico has 281 different species and 7 are deadly. You know why there's a wall being built? Has nothing to do with politics. Nothing at all. Immigrants, come on in. Scorpions, stay out, right? Yeah, the rest of the deadly ones live in Southeast Asia, Africa, and South America. This one is from Southeast Asia, but its venom is mild. I know this. Yeah, this one got me last year. This particular one got me last year. I was doing an elementary school presentation at an elementary school, and I wasn't paying attention, and that got me. Oh my gosh, it hurts. Fortunately, I can put on a very good poker face. Yeah, play poker with me. Okay. Yeah, I was. That was all it was. You know. It was kind of like this. It was kind of like. Okay, folks, that's pretty much how it happened. Your first question is, how did it feel, Brad? It hurt, okay, but it didn't kill me. If you guys ever happen to see a scorpion and you don't know what type of scorpion you're looking at, which is probably likely, you can tell just by looking at the scorpion how strong their venom is. What do you look at? Well, the old myth was the larger the scorpion, the less dangerous it is. It's actually not the case, because the 5th largest is the deadliest. You look at the size of the claws, okay? If the claws are really large, it's okay, I won't get too close, it's all right. If the claws are really large, Popeye the Sailor, remember him? Okay, remember how his arms looked? He had tiny little biceps with huge forearms. If you see a scorpion that looks like that, looks like the scorpion version of Popeye, big huge claws, that means the venom in the tail is going to be mild, okay? If the claws are really, really tiny little tweezers, their venom is going to be a lot stronger. The larger the claws are, the less potent the venom is. And it makes a ton of sense too. Those claws are very, very strong, and they can kill their prey and defend themselves with their claws. If they have little tiny claws, they definitely need strong venom to be able to subdue their prey and defend themselves. And by the way, guys, according to the United States Poison Control website, 90% of scorpion stings that occur in this country occurs when somebody slips their foot into a shoe that has a scorpion in it. So shake out your shoes if you leave your shoes outside. All right, stand by. Okay, you guys ready to see something cool?
Yeah.
You guys, most of you guys know this, but if you take a black light, put it on any scorpion, it glows. It's a good way to see if you got scorpions in your backyard. Or in your shoe.
Wow.
Well, yeah, see, it glows. Now, if it was very dark out and my batteries were a little stronger, then it would be glowing like crazy.
Wow.
Let's see that. It's all right, they don't jump. A lot of people know this, but not so many people have ever seen that. But yeah, they glow in black light. It has to be black light. Wow. And scientists don't know why they glow. They just know that it is in the actual exoskeleton, because babies that are born without an exoskeleton do not glow.
You don't think it's
Anyway,
real?
just wanted to show you that. Not so many people get to see that.
It is
So,
real.
you're welcome.
Because it's
now,
not supposed to.
A lot of people, because you guys can get scorpions in pet stores. You guys know that, right? Oh, thank you. Yes, you can get scorpions in pet stores. Some enclosures that you can buy have a black light already built in, and people have a notion of leaving the black light on. They don't want to do that because they get the equivalent of a sunburn. If they're exposed to it too much. So that's why I only do it whenever I have shows indoors, which is not normal for me. All right, let's show you guys a reptile. You guys ready for a reptile? Gotta change the battery in this thing. Buddy, this is one of my best friends. This is actually one of my best friends. Yes, I know. Hi, buddy. Does anybody know what kind of lizard that is?
No.
It is a monitor lizard. Very good. This is a monitor lizard. The monitor family is quite large. There are 80 members of the monitor family. The largest monitor in the entire world is, of course, the Komodo dragon, guys. Komodo dragon gets over 10 feet long. This is a cousin. He's a relative of the Komodo dragon. This is called a savanna monitor. Contrary to their name, the savanna monitor is not from Georgia. They're actually from northern Africa. All 80 species of monitor have one thing in common. They are predators. And what do predators eat? Other animals. In fact, of all the predatory lizards in the world, monitors are the best hunters. The best hunters. And there's one simple reason for that, which is going to sound made up, but this is absolutely true. In fact, when you guys walk around the resort, you ever watch the little lizards run around?
Yes.
They're always crossing your little path right there, right? When you watch them, I want you to notice something about them. You're going to notice something really weird. You're going to notice that they can't run long distance. You'll never see them start here, run all the way across the pool deck. You can't do it. When they run and then stop. Run and then stop. Run and then stop. That's because lizards can't breathe when they run. Isn't that strange? Lizards can't breathe and run at the same time. The only lizard that can are the monitor family. Okay?
Interesting.
Which makes them better predators because they don't need to stop to breathe. They can continually run and catch their prey and get away from danger. Now, here's the thing about reptiles you guys already know. Very few reptiles chase their prey. They're cold-blooded. Cold-blooded animals have a limited supply of energy. Monitors chase their prey running up to 18 miles an hour. And they can keep that speed up. And when they chase it. Most monitors eat lizards and mammals. Some eat fish because they're aquatic. This one is an insectivore. He's an insectivore not by choice, but where he's from. See, where this guy's from, in northern Africa, there's not a lot of anything to eat. Very few mammals, very few lizards. So he has to rely on insects. Matter of fact, he's got a specialized diet of termites. I know that sounds weird, like termites? Yeah, have you ever seen pictures of those huge termite mounds of Africa? Those termites are called mound-building termites. It's the actual name of them. And that's what this guy mostly eats. You might be thinking, well, termites are really tiny. How many would it have to eat to fill its belly? Mound-building termites are the largest termite in the world. The workers get over 4 inches long. And they don't eat wood, fortunately, for the people who live in Africa. Are you guys noticing that tongue stick out?
Yeah.
You guys know why they stick out their tongue, right? Just
Sensory?
Like to smell. They smell with their tongue. You're also going to notice that the tongue is forked. Did you guys notice that as well? Mm-hmm. You know why his tongue is forked? To smell in 2 different directions. It's left and right. That's how they track down their prey. But this is Charlie. And Charlie's been with us at Gatorland about 6 years. He's about 11 years old, and he was a rescue. He was actually given to us by a family that had him as a pet, and they donated him to us because they didn't know where to turn because he was very, very ill, and they couldn't afford the vet bill. So they gave him to us, and it took about a year, but our vet staff went to work on him, and then after a year, he was actually, healthy. But that's my buddy Charlie. By the way, the family does come by and visit him from time to time. We just give him an hour or so. Here, have Charlie. That's my buddy Charlie. He's so cool, aren't you? Yes. What's that? Oh, those are his ears. Those are his ears. Yep, those are his ears. He has great hearing.
No.
If it was up to me, I'd keep them myself. All right, I need another volunteer. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, he was like, whoa. What's your name? Logan, stand right there and face everybody, Logan. Hold your hands out in front of you. Oh, actually, let me help you. Whoa.
The look on his face.
Every time I do this presentation, they're like,
His face. Just be a tree.
Look at his face.
won't bite you. She only bites on Fridays. Give it up for Logan. You got it. All right, Logan, what are you holding? Yeah, very good. Do you know what kind of python? I'll give you hints. Look what I'm holding in my hand. There you go, ball python. How'd you guess? That's pretty good. You didn't hear that from anybody else. Yeah, it's a ball python. Isn't it cool? Is this your first time holding this thing? Yeah? This big, like you held small little like garter snakes and stuff. That's cool. I'll go ahead and take that because I think you're loaded. Well, yes, guys, this is a ball python. And by the way, guys, there are no native species of python in the Western Hemisphere. And just in case you know where you are, you're in the Western Hemisphere.
I'd be scared if I touched
in our
that.
hemisphere, the python equivalent in our hemisphere is the boa
That's a
constrictor
big
family found in
snake.
Central and South America. This snake right here is actually from this snake right here is actually from Africa. It got its name ball python right here in the United States. Now, how did that happen since they're native to Africa? Well, when they got here in the pet trade, it was American marketing and sales. That's pretty much what happened. See, back in the 70s, snakes started to become popular as pets, so they started importing different types of harmless snakes from around the world to sell in pet shops here. Well, they imported a bunch of these guys from Africa, but they wouldn't sell very well. They wouldn't sell because at that time there were other species also available. The most popular back then was the corn snake. And if you've ever seen a corn snake, they're very pretty, they're very colorful, red, yellow, black, orange. This just wasn't, so nobody bought them. So a little bit later on, though, they found out that when this snake gets really scared, it rolls up into a really tight ball to hide its head in the middle of the ball. You know what that is? A marketable feature. So they changed the name to ball python to see what happened, and it worked. It created curiosity, which turned into conversation, which eventually led to sales of the animal. That's exactly right. The original name is royal python. They call them royal pythons for an even cooler reason. See, thousands of years ago in northern Africa, you guys probably know this, thousands of years ago, kings and queens used to wear them as living decoration. You guys might be able to name an ancient queen that was known for that. Not Elizabeth, baby. Not Queen Elizabeth.
That's scaly.
Yeah, Cleopatra, baby. Cleopatra. Yeah, Elizabeth was scared to death of snakes, believe it or not. Now, her daughter-in-law, Kate, she loves reptiles and spiders. And as a matter of fact, this tarantula right here, she held.
What?
It was very cool when I met her. Anyway, going back. Okay. Yes, this is also the most popular pet snake in the entire world right now. The reason why they're so popular is because it's a python that only gets this big. Matter of fact, she's huge. She's a gigantic ball python, guys. If you live in Florida and you happen to want a type of python, this is your only choice. If you want other types of pythons, say a Burmese python, you're completely out of luck. Burmese pythons are completely illegal in the state of Florida. I mean, you can get in serious trouble if you get a Burmese python without a permit. You guys know why, right?
Are those the ones that
Because
eat?
they're invasive in the state of Florida. Remember, guys, no native species of python in the Western Hemisphere. Yet here in Florida, there's about 300,000 of them out in the wild.
Oh, wow.
300,000. And some of you guys might be going, well, that's down in the Everglades. We don't have to worry about them in Central Florida. Yes, we do. They've been seen only a few miles from here. Claremont, Daytona, North Orlando, Jacksonville. They ran over one with a tractor at Kennedy Space Center a few months ago. They're all over the place, guys. Anything you release in the wild in the state of Florida is going to survive. Nothing dies in the state of Florida. That's why people retire here. Yeah, the majority of them, a little slow on the uptake, huh? Yeah, the majority of them are down in the Everglades, but there are quite a bit that they've seen in Central Florida. Okay. All snakes have a few things in common. All snakes have teeth. That's right, guys. They have teeth. Why do they have teeth? To grab hold of their prey. They don't chew. Their teeth aren't. They don't have molars. All they do have pointy, sharp, needle-type teeth that point backwards. So when the snake grabs hold of its prey and the animal struggles, it can't get away. The teeth get deeper and deeper into the flesh of the animal, so it can't get away. There is one snake in Africa that doesn't have teeth because it has a weird diet. It's called the African egg-eating snake. That's all it eats is eggs. And eggs don't try to struggle and get away. So that's why they don't have teeth. Okay? All snakes have that forked tongue. We've already discussed that. Snakes don't have any ears, but the snakes hear. Yes, they can hear quite well. Some people say they only pick up vibrations, which is absolutely true, but what do we hear? And essentially, it's vibrations that hit our eardrums, right? They're so sensitive to vibrations, they can feel the slightest sound hit their body, guys. That's hearing. Let's see. Can snakes unhinge their jaws and swallow something really large? Yes. No, they can't. They can't unhinge their jaws. And there's a very good reason. Now, the reason why they can't unhinge their jaws is very, very simple. There's no hinge. There's nothing to dislocate. There's none of this. There's no hinge. The jaws are actually kind of laying on top of each other and
Go ahead,
by
sit down.
stretchy ligaments and muscle, allowing them to completely separate their bottom jaw from their bottom. But the coolest part about that is they don't have a chin.
Sit there.
And because they don't have a chin, their bottom jaw doesn't touch. So so they can actually expand their bottom jaw. So it's almost like a triangle. Their bottom jaw does this, and their bottom jaw also does that. Look at any snake on the bottom jaw. Look at that, baby. Okay, take a look at the bottom jaw. You guys see that little line right there?
Oh, yeah.
That's the crease. That's a crease. And that crease is there so they can actually expand their bottom jaw. See? They need extra skin there so they don't rip their throat out. See that? Anyway, this is a non-venomous snake. How can you guys tell it's non-venomous? Because I'm holding him. But I did hear a few of you guys say, you start to say, well, you can tell by the
Head.
There's a lot of people that will say it's got to have a triangular shaped head. Right? Got to have a triangular shaped head. Is this triangular or I mean, don't try and guess, really. Some people say it's the pupil, the shape of the pupil.
I ain't getting that close.
Exactly. That's my point. How close do you have to get to a snake to see the pupil? Hold on a second. Let me get that on my hands. And then some people say it's very brightly colored. Let's see if any of that's right. No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Don't be scared. Because it's just pictures. Okay. Pretty good pictures. Pretty good photos of these things. But here's the thing. There's 3 snakes. One of them is non-venomous. Is it the black one, the green one, or the brown one?
Black one. The black.
Who's none?
Oh wait, non-venomous. I think it's the black snake. It might be, but unless it's a cottonmouth, then no.
Okay. One of them is non-venomous. The other 2 are venomous. Okay, let me tell you what snake is which, and then we'll go from there. Okay. The black one is a king cobra.
Oh.
Very venomous.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got round pupils, so vertical pupils have nothing to do with anything. This one is a taipan, the deadliest snake in the world.
Oh.
They really don't have a triangular shaped head. It's kind of round when you think it looks like a rat snake.
Yeah.
It's got round pupils as well, and it's not brightly colored. This one is a non-venomous one. This is called an emerald tree boa. They got vertical pupils not because they're venomous, it's because they're nocturnal or crepuscular. Crepuscular means morning and active in the morning and in the evening. It's got a very triangular shaped head. It's not very good. This one is not a very good picture. I want to get another photo, but look up emerald tree boa. You're going to notice the most triangular shaped head that you'll ever see. But yeah, you can't tell if a snake is venomous. How do you keep yourself safe? Simple. You just got to know your snakes. Right. And I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of snakes to know, but it's not. Especially if you live in North America. If you live in North America, there's only 4 that you need to know. There's different variations of the 4, but there's basically 4. And the easiest way to remember all 4 of them is to remember what they begin with. Okay. Here we go. You ready? C, 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 R. Those are all the venomous snakes. Yeah, rattlesnake is the R, but the hardest ones are what's the C stand for?
Yeah.
Copperhead, coral snake, and cottonmouth. That's all. That's all that lives in North America. Copperhead, cottonmouth, coral snake, rattlesnakes. That's all.
Oh.
That's all. There's different variations of the 4. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's 37 different types of rattlesnakes. And they live in North America and South America. Then there's like 5 different species of cottonmouth. There's like 4 or 5 different species of copperhead. But basically, C, 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 R. If the snake you're looking at is not a CCCR, it's not venomous. Just know the venomous snakes. And you only really need to know the venomous snakes that are in your area. Michigan, New York. Nobody's here from New York. I always have a New Yorker and a behind you. Where? Who? Where are you from? Here. You're from here?
From New York right now.
Oh, New York. Okay, we got New York. All they have to know is 2 venomous snakes, the copperhead and the timber rattlesnake. See? Just know what's in your area. Okay, so that way you can identify them. And be safe. All right, so we're going to go and put her away. Here, a double bag. I don't know if you saw, but I just pulled her out of this bag. That's because she got out of the first bag. She's an escape artist. That's why I double bag her. Her name is Matilda. I call her Matilda because I think she uses telekinesis to move this. You guys know what you guys Okay, one more animal to show you.
Matilda.
This next animal I don't need a volunteer for.
That was the name of
Because
the
I'm going to let you all hold it at the end. By the way, some people ask me, how can you carry the snake and the gator in a bag? because it's soft and it's cloth and it's breathable. You know? It's like the difference between being in a box or a hammock. Very, very comfortable in there. And yes, they can breathe after we stop using Ziploc storage bags. That was a disaster. All right.
Yay!
Yes, this is a gator, guys. Now check out this gator. You're going to notice something on the gator you're not going to notice in other alligators. He has tape on his mouth. The reason why he has tape on his mouth is because people are strange. That has nothing to do with the alligator being aggressive towards people. It's just that people are strange. If I were to do this entire presentation without tape on his mouth, he wouldn't try and bite. But people are weird. We have the strangest habits of whenever we want to reach out and touch an animal, we always want to touch them on the
Mouth.
the head, the face.
head,
We
yeah.
love to do that to animals. Guess what animals don't like? Being touched on the face. I mean, you reach out and touch an animal. Normally they kind of back up a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that thing on the end of your arm? You know, they don't know what that is. It's an aggressive move on your part. Even though there's no aggression in your heart at all, this coming at the face of an animal is scary. Okay.
Yeah.
This gator has about 150 pounds of biting pressure in his jaws. Okay. You guys aren't that far behind. The normal adult human can bite with about 100 pounds of force if you bite them really hard. But the most ever recorded on an alligator was 3,871 pounds of biting pressure. Now that's to the pound. I mean, this was measured at a zoo in North Florida. 3,871 pounds. How does that compare to other animals? Let's see. African lion, about 1,800 pounds of biting pressure. The hippo, about 2,200 pounds of biting pressure. The hyena, one of the strongest bites in Africa, 2,200 pounds of biting pressure. Alligators, 3,871 pounds. It's a lot of biting pressure. And there's a reason why, and we'll discuss that in just a second, okay? But there's a lot of alligators in Florida. I'm sure you guys know that. As a matter of fact, according to the FWC, there's about 1.8 million alligators.
Wow.
That's one alligator for every 11 of us who live in the state. There's only 10,000 lakes to support 1.8 million alligators. Are you doing the math? Every single freshwater body has the potential to have alligators in it. Actually, I shouldn't say potential. Just tell yourself there's a gator in that water, okay? You just got to be safe. Fortunately, if you ever come across a wild alligator, what does it do? Nothing. Gators don't like people. They're scared of us. And that's a good thing. Because we love gators, we just want to see him way over there. And when the gator does run away, he disappears. Look at this amazing camouflage. And guys, you're going to notice that this alligator is not green. You know why he's not green?
Because he's not an
Gators aren't
alligator.
green. As simple as that. You know, there's no such thing as a green alligator. Now, what is green? Well, how many of y'all have a backyard swimming pool? What color does it turn when you don't take care of it?
Green.
It's algae. Algae also grows on alligators, but the natural color of alligators is actually dark gray or black. Another thing that helps the alligator to hide besides his color is whenever he's floating there, pretty much the only part of the body you see is his head. Everything he needs is right there. On the tip of the snout, he has the nostrils. Those nostrils have little muscles in there, which close automatically. Okay, this alligator could hold his breath for about an hour during this time of year, during the summertime, or during the warm weather. It's not summer yet. During the wintertime, a lot longer, because alligators are cold-blooded. Everything slows down when it gets cold. Up in North Carolina, there was an alligator that held his breath for just under 24 hours.
Wow.
On the top of the alligator's head of the eyes, alligators have great vision. They can see color. They can see at night. They can see distance. They can see close up. When an alligator's just standing there, they have a huge field of vision. But the coolest part about alligators' eyes is how they protect them. Now, this is going to look like it's going to hurt the gator, but trust me, it doesn't hurt the alligator. See that? See, it doesn't hurt the alligator. I promise you that. That's how the alligator's eyes work. See? It's actually hurting you guys more than it's hurting me. See? Oh! And it's not hurting the gator, guys. That's how the alligator's eyes work. Just think of the old-style Corvette headlamp. You know how the headlamp goes right down into the hood? Come here, buddy.
Whoa.
One more time.
He's just doing it. He's just like.
Behind the alligator's eye is this thing. Can you guess what that is, sweetheart? What do you think that is? That's the alligator's ear, right there. There it is. See? There it is. There's the alligator's ear. Now, why do gators have ears? So they can hear. What are alligators listening for? Predators is one. Prey is too, and then one more thing. Other alligators. Because they talk to each other. Alligators are the most vocal reptile in the entire world. The most vocal reptile of all the reptiles in the world, alligators make the most sounds. Most of them being vocal, believe it or not. In fact, I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of people. Because I've been doing this over 35 years. I've had an opportunity to work with Jack Hanna. I worked with Jack Hanna up at the Letterman show for a while. I also worked with Jeff Corwin and Nigel Martin. My most favorite, however, was Sir David Attenborough. I worked with him for about 2 weeks. He was doing a documentary called Life in Cold Blood. It's a free download. Look it up. It's a great documentary. It's 7 parts. Anyway, he said, and I had a few conversations with Sir David because, he's Sir David Attenborough. By the way, he just turned 99 on May 8th, and he's still doing wildlife stuff.
Oh,
Guy's
cool.
a monster. Anyway, he said that gators have about 25 different sounds that they make. And because these sounds are common between other alligators, he says that's a language. Yeah. Kind of cool, right? A lot of stories told about alligators. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how fast can a gator run? Fast. Now, old timers here in the state of Florida will say the gators can run wicked fast. Well, they wouldn't say wicked fast because they're not from New England. But they would say that they could run really, really fast. Some old timers will say the gators can run up to 35 miles an hour. I want you to look at this animal and tell me he can run 35 miles an hour. I want you to look at these little legs and tell me no. Besides, why would an alligator be in that type of rush? Think about that. Because the animals develop abilities because they have to survive. Since animals started developing on this planet, they've done nothing but adapt to their surrounding environment. They have to. If they don't adapt, then they go extinct. And through all adaptations, they gain abilities, they gain different things and what have you. So why would an alligator have to be able to run 35 miles an hour? Give me an example of a fast-running animal. Cheetah. All right, it's unanimous. Let's talk about the cheetah. Now, the cheetah is the fastest land animal, right? They run up to 70 miles an hour. But why do they have to develop that ability? To catch prey, right? That's right, to catch prey. Now, that must tell you something about the prey. The prey must be wicked fast. What's he trying to catch?
Gazelles.
Gazelles, exactly. Gazelles or antelopes. Do gazelles run fast?
Yes.
Why do gazelles run fast?
To get away from the cheetah.
Okay, see how both animals tend to adapt to each other. By the way, the gazelle runs about 60, cheetahs run about 70, okay? But let's say in a few 100,000 years the gazelle develops the ability to run 70 miles an hour. Is the cheetah going to adapt alongside him?
Yes.
He has to. If he doesn't, his entire species goes extinct. Now, let's get back to the gator. Why would an alligator have to run 35 miles an hour? Their main diet are turtles and fish. Turtles are the fastest animals in the world. And fish can run 30 miles an hour. No, they don't even run. See, you know what their third favorite food is? Birds. Okay, so
They land on top of them.
Exactly.
It comes to them.
Can't run that fast. There's no reason why they had to develop that ability. And by the way, alligators have over 3,000 pounds of biting pressure to crush turtle shells. That's why they have developed that type of amount of pressure. Okay. So no, gators can't run that fast. Top speed of an alligator is about 11 or 12 miles an hour. But you see, it's an instant burst of speed. They're there. They throw the body forward. They're doing their top speed. But why would an alligator run anyway? How does an alligator catch his prey? He's an ambush predator, you know? He's an ambush predator. They sneak, they grab, they pull underneath the water and eat it. So why would an alligator run? Not to go towards something. Gators spook really easy. If you live in Florida at all, you'll notice the gators just run away from you as fast as they possibly can. What should you do if you're ever being chased by a gator? Give up. I've never heard that one. Play dead. Oh my gosh. Tell you what, you can play dead.
Run out of
its.
its.
Things that people always say is you got to run zigzag away from a gator. Do me a favor, don't run zigzag.
No.
Run in a straight line, okay? And if you don't believe me, try
And
running
jump out of the
zigzag
way.
sometime.
Yeah,
And by the way, this is not zigzag. This is you. This is you. Essentially, you're running straight. You're just swerving back and forth. The gator's going, I have no idea what you're doing. I'm going to eat you, you know?
when you fall,
Run
they
in
eat
a
you.
straight line. Gators can turn better than people can. We're tall, we're high profile, we're very top heavy. We can't turn running at our top speed. Gators, however, can. They can turn on a dime doing their top speed, which again is only about 11 or 12 miles an hour. But will you ever be chased by a gator? I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say I don't think so, because we all know how alligators hunt. You guys know we do get the occasional attack. You guys do know. I know you guys know. You guys, that's probably something you can think about when you're planning your trip to Florida. People get attacked by alligators. Doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. The media has a field day when anybody ever gets attacked because it's a bad thing, and they just feed off of bad things, right?
We never see alligator.
You guys know that we get attacks here in Florida. It's on your local news. No matter where you are, it's on your local news. The farther away from Florida that you are, however, the later on in the news program it is. My advice to you is every single freshwater body has alligators in it. Every one. If you don't see a gator in it, there's a gator in it. Here's an experiment to see if there's a gator in it, okay? It's very safe. Touch the water. Feel it. Is it wet? There's a gator in it.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Also,
the joke.
please do not feed wild alligators. They had to raise the fine to $5,000. You can feed gators at Gatorland because they can never leave the park, okay? But don't feed wild alligators. They had to raise the fine because people weren't paying attention to them. And they're not trying to make money, and they're not trying to ruin your fun. They're trying to save people. Because once an alligator loses his fear of man, he approaches people for food. And then we lose one of our beautiful children. So don't feed wild alligators. The main thing is be aware of your surroundings, okay? But don't be scared, because gators are by far not the most dangerous one-headed animal in the United States. What is? Okay.
Yeah, what is?
The United States Wildlife Department has an unofficial list of animals that attack people. Guess what? Wild animal that exists in every single state except for Alaska has more recorded attacks on humans. In other words, people call it in, okay? Has more recorded attacks than any other wild animal in the United States.
Dogs,
Not cows. Not coyotes.
raccoons. Yeah.
Sharks are not found in Idaho. No, because this animal exists in every single state except for Alaska.
Squirrel.
Yes, somebody said it over here. Deer? It's actually deer.
They attacked my car.
How often do you see that in the news? You never do. You know why?
Don't pet
Because
Bambi.
it's a white-tailed deer. Because it's not scary. It's a beautiful animal, right?
And it
But if a
goes-
scary animal bites a person, the whole world knows about it.
Right.
Somebody gets bitten by an alligator, the whole world knows about it. The shark bite capital of the world is New Smyrna Beach, Florida. If somebody gets bitten there, the whole world knows about it. But white-tailed deer never makes the news because they're beautiful.
Right.
So be careful going to Disney World. Bambi will kick your butt. All right, know what we just talked about? What is the best thing to do if you ever see a wild alligator?
Just leave it alone.
Did you run from them?
No.
So you did what you're supposed to. The best thing to do, just stand there and look at them.
Yeah,
You know why?
because it's
Because
cool.
they're cool. They're cool creatures. People are fascinated by gators. Why do we like gators? Because of bees.
Ah.
Because we love animals that eat other animals. It's fascinating to us. It really is. Think about all your favorite animals. How many of them eat other animals? Most of them. Right? We love
And
animals.
then we eat them if they don't.
Shark Week's cool, right? Love
Yeah.
Shark Week. Anybody ever watch Cow Week?
No.
No such thing.
I don't know. That'd be
The best thing you
interesting.
ever see when I stand there and look at them. All right, anybody have any questions before you guys hold the gator? Anybody have any questions? What's your question, young lady? 37 people in 140 some odd years. 37 people
Wow.
have been killed by alligators. The Nile crocodile kills about 400 people a year in Africa.
Wow.
The hippo kills more than that.
Yeah.
And hippos are not meat eaters. They're herbivores. It's all territory.
Was your scorpion sedated? Just,
No, not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Seemed really
Not at all.
docile.
What's that again?
It just seemed really
That one right there is chill. Ever since we got him from the breeder, he's been just chill. I have other ones that I bring out to do presentations with that are so hard to get out of that box. They're always like, as I see my hand come down, they got both claws up and they're in their stinger right between their claws. So that gator, I mean that scorpion just chill. And I don't know what it is about him because it's not a species because our other ones that are the same species are really. Yes.
You said that gators move fast primarily because of predators, right?
Yes, things are chasing them or something spooked them or something like that.
What preys on that animal?
When they're small, everything that they eat as adults eats them as babies. Turtles, fish, birds. Yeah, exactly. But once they reach a big size, let's say 4 or 5 feet, they really don't have any other predators except for larger alligators and of course people. So, yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
Sorry, no, it's this side. This side does what it wants to. It's in the other room playing cards with somebody.
How often do the larger ones eat the babies?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. We collect all of the eggs at Gatorland because we have 2 main lakes, which all our breeding takes place. And the first week of July, when we know all the eggs are laid, we collect them all. But as far as how many of alligators eat other alligators, out of a nest of 35 eggs, about 2 to 3 will actually survive to adulthood. But that's a combination of a bunch of predators, including other alligators. But as far as just alligators, I'm not quite sure. Yes, sweetheart. They have 82 teeth.
Wow.
But they will grow about 3,000 or 4,000 teeth in their entire life.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, that's the reason why they eat turtles and
Look at how
animals
he's
with
holding him
bones,
like a
because they
baby.
eat
He's just
calcium in their
relaxing.
teeth. So they digest turtle shells and bones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes, ma'am, right here. Yep.
Some warm-blooded mammals use their tongue to like regulate temperature.
Mhm.
Do
Yep.
cold-blooded animals also do that to regulate their temperature?
They do a few things, okay? One, it's not really the tongue, okay? They will, like on a hot day, or let's say it's a cold day, let's say during the winter time, okay? We have, I know this doesn't sound cold, but to me it's cold. Let's say it's 45 degrees out, cold for the animal, okay? So what he's gonna do is he's gonna get up on land. The water's cold anyway, because as winter goes, it drops the water temperature. So he's gonna sit in the sun and try to warm up. Now, what's gonna happen is if he starts getting too hot, he needs to cool off. So instead of going down into the water and cooling off too quickly, they open up their mouth. The inside of the mouth is very vascular, and it cools off their internal temperature. They will also use their neck right there. See that? See how it's moving up and down? See that? They're using their neck as a bellows to suck in air into its mouth so it can thermoregulate as well. So, but they don't actually like a.
Second question.
Bonnet.
There we go.
I'm gonna try. Might be too heavy for me.
Oh. Okay.
Hi. Here, stand right there.
Stand right there.
Face mommy. And are you ready to hold him? You're gonna hold him in your arms like that last kid did. You're gonna put
Hold
your
it
arm all
the way around
his
him.
neck. Not your hand, your whole arm.
Your whole arm.
Whole arm.
Good job,
There you
Zeke.
go. You got it.
Say
Look at that.
cheese.
Perfect.
Love it. All right. What'd you
Excellent.
think?
Good job, dude. I like your glasses, man.
Say
Those are
thank
really
you.
cool. I really like them.
All right, buddy. Come here.
Don't go wash
Those
my
are a
hands.
lot. Those are a lot
Yeah, hold
cooler
on.
than my first set of glasses.
All
I wear
right.
contacts now.
Cheese. Cheese. All right. Good job.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we just watched the Gatorland show. Zeke, what did you think of the Gatorland show?
I touched the gator.
You touched a gator. We got to pet a gator. I don't even know if I got him in shot. But yes, we got to touch a gator. It was a lot of fun. They do a really great job every time that they come. And we're going to eat our dinner. And then we're all going to get in the car. And we're going to go across the way to ride the gondolas.
Oh gosh.
And
Why are you recording?
we're going to go on the gondolas. And then hopefully we'll hang out there long enough to see an up close version of the firework display. Hi there. Okay, so the very last clip that you saw, I'm just letting you know, we did not get to go on the gondolas, and I only got to see a minute 30 of the fireworks. It was not a very good idea to go when we decided to go to try and see the fireworks and do the gondolas. And I'm going to do a separate review about our Disney transportation experience in the next clip. So enjoy the 1 minute and 32 seconds of fireworks that I could get on our very last night of vacation.